You ever done any crazy things in your life?
Oh, yeah, one or two.
Exactly.
That might.
All right, Judge, you are recording.
Okay, way on up there. Yeah, we get started there, Sharon.
That ranks pretty high.
It does make me, that's right. That might beat that. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Monday, August 30th, 2021, at 10 o'clock. This is a special call, Commissioner Court. I'm gonna call it for order. We have a quorum. Acknowledge any guests here today. And we're here to deliberate and consider the action on the following item. Discuss and if appropriate, set the date to public notice of public meeting regarding tax rate.
Now it's September 22nd for everyone to set the tax rate.
What is it?
September 22nd, how is that? Does that, does anyone have a conflict with September 22nd?
On Wednesday.
Yeah, it's on Wednesday.
Does it matter?
Well, yes, sir, it hurt to me, it does. If you have a conflict.
Is that the latest date we have?
Well,
The latest date?
the actual latest date, it says before September 30th, 60 days or before September 30th. So that would be the September 29th. So you got the, just wait to the last moment.
I think we better.
But I mean, 22nd, 23rd.
28? You said before 30th?
Yes, sir, but you just, if something happens, the
The 27th, that's on a Monday.
27th is a Monday, but if a storm blows in, it's,
Still gotta do it. 27th.
y'all want to do it the 27th? Okay. Okay. So see, a Monday is tough because the paper comes out once a week and it's got to be published 7 days.
And you do it on the 22nd.
So it really, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, the 27th is not a good day. Not coinciding with the newspaper.
So how would the 22nd help you?
Sir,
How would the 22nd help you?
well,
Because
you
it
get
come-
it in there the 15th. And we'll have
Okay,
it.
come out on the
22nd.
22nd.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's dated the 15th.
So
The paper, it'll come out in the paper on the 15th, and the meeting will be held to adopt the tax rate on the 22nd.
we're gonna make that motion.
Make a motion, we, set September 22nd for to set the tax rate for 2022. I second.
Motion been made with Commissioner White, second with Commissioner Benson, that we set September 22nd for our tax rate here, adopted tax rate. Any discussion? Not all in favor? 5-0. Number 2, discussion and approved budget amendment to cover expense on equipment that was not certified on INS long-term debt for 2021. Sure.
Yes, sir. We have 4 pieces of equipment that was not certified for the long-term debt for 2021. We need to do a budget amendment for in general fund for the debris truck for $80,990.09. We need to do a budget amendment for precinct 1 for $85,936.77. For the 2019 John Deere grader, we need to do a budget amendment for $54,244.53 for precinct 3 for the wheel loader. We gotta pay the note.
I got a wheel over.
The wheel loader that was transferred from precinct 4 to precinct 3.
That boom mower.
Oh, okay.
And then also for precinct 4, for the 2020 Peterbilt 348 truck for $43,506.81.
What's the total?
The total cost, well, it's gonna be in two different, I broke up the different precincts per total. It's gonna be coming from different funds. So it's not gonna be a total amount for overall. We have general fund and 3 precincts.
What's the total though? Oh, that's all right. We can do that.
I can do it.
What we already paid.
Yes, that's already excluding what we've already, well, what we, debt services is reimbursed. Which is just what we need to add from
I'm talking about the eighty done came in a month.
$264,678.20. Yeah, this is going to be added in, which comes out of your budget. And this is a grave emergency because these bills do need to be paid. You know, no budget amendments are only supposed to happen for grave emergencies, and this is one of those emergencies where the invoices need to be paid.
What was that total again, Sheriff?
For you or for overall?
Overall,
$264,678.20.
Your motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Motion been made by Mr. Thompson, second by Mr. Palmer, that we approve the budget amendment for the equipment that was not certified in the INS long-term debt in 2021. Any discussion? All in favor? Further discussion, appropriate to approve the order of special election call the countywide constitutional amendment and local bond election to be held on November 2nd, 2021. Sandra?
Judge, this is just formality for the general election. Anytime there's a constitutional amendment election, the county has to order that election. So we just need to put that to report. I did go ahead and add the local bond election just to have us covered on both sides, even though I know as well as this is just ordering us to be at the election.
So we're having two different elections.
Oh,
Your motion?
I'll make it.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Palmer, second by Mr. White, to approve the order of a special election calling the countywide constitutional amendment and local bond election held on November the 2nd, 2021. Any discussion? All in favor? 5-0. Number 4, consider and if appropriate, approve early voting locations and voting hour for November the 2nd, special constitutional amendment and local bond elections. Stand.
I have submitted what we normally do for elections. I understand that with the bond issue, that y'all are probably going to want as many polls open as possible. This is kind of one of those things, though, it is one of the most expensive things that we do with the election. So any suggestions or advice that y'all would like to give about consolidating polls? I mean, I'm open to, if y'all want them all to open, you can. The biggest thing is gonna be at this point, early voting, branch early voting. We've always done that at Deweyville. But
Shannon, Ms. Leonard, they can't hear you. If you don't mind, come over here before they.
the biggest thing is the early voting, the branch early voting that we do in Deweyville. Up until 2 years ago, we were able to actually just offer that for 2 or 3 days. Now the law has changed and you must conduct early voting at any branch early voting location, same days, times, hours as your office. So for us to be able to do branch voting at Deweyville, I have to offer that for 2 weeks, 8 to 4:30, and pay 3 individuals for this election to conduct early voting for us. Then that's basically going to be a either yes, we're going to do it, or no, we're going to do it. I don't have an option just to offer it for a couple of days. It has to be the entire time that we are early voting.
For how many weeks?
2 weeks,
2 weeks,
2 weeks.
80 hours.
And then if we do extended, which I probably will offer extended again. It works pretty good on a Sunday afternoon. I get the fellas and the ladies that, work off and that are going back and forth to work. They're able to come and vote before they actually leave on Sunday. We also do one Saturday. So we had a pretty fair turnout the last time we done that. So I probably would like to try to offer that again this month.
One Saturday and one Sunday.
Yes, sir. The state mandates and they change these things, but they don't tell you how to pay for them. And the county is responsible for early voting fees. I can't, nobody else can attend to that. It is a county responsibility. I've given y'all, did they get that? The list of the polling locations. We have had to consolidate just a few simply because they've kicked us out, or, the building is not, it's not permissible to use. So, it's just gonna be how y'all feel about if we consolidate any polls, or if y'all want them all, as many as I can have open.
How many you got open?
I think there's a total of 15.
And that's been working out okay?
I got them to 14. So I have 4 that's up at the Civic Center. With this election, the ballots are not going to be that big of a deal because everything's going to be the same. It's constitutional amendments and the bond issue. So everybody's ballot will be the same. It's just, it's coded different per box. So it's not a real issue. Now in the primary, it does get a little tricky because, got commissioners, JPs, so everything is specific to their precinct. So it's a little bit different in the primary than it is general.
Well, the ones that you've got, was it a high turnout with the ones that you've got? Was it better when you consolidated them? Could you tell anything different about it?
In the primary election, yes. I'm not sure about the general election because we have 8 constitutional amendments and then our local.
So it's probably gonna be a low turnout. What you're saying?
Possibly. That's normally for a constitutional amendment election. Now, with the bond issue, bond measure being, part of the ballot, I don't know if that will, bring more people out or not. And that's why I wanted to make sure that that was what we all intended and understood, that it would all be on one ballot, because I thought we would have better turnout on both sides of it, if the amendments and the bond issue was on the same ballot. So we were all in agreement with that.
For 9, 10, 11, 13, 16, and 21, is that all the lower end going to Deweyville?
And actually, that's for the early voting.
Yeah, for early vote.
Yes, sir. I send all those ballots down there, so anybody that's from South End, if they go that way. If, there's special circumstances with people working and I know that they're gonna be coming through there, I can make sure that there is a specific ballot there for them as well. I mean, we try really hard. If people wanna vote, we want them to.
Is this a timeline subject that we're talking about, or is it something that can
We
be
can-
put off a week?
We can put this part of it off, yes, sir, and probably put it on the regular.
So it has nothing to do with printing the ballots.
No, sir, no, the order, we've got our order, I can get that posted and everything, and I can proceed with that kind of stuff at this point, but we will need to do this probably at our regular. Y'all be thinking about it.
I'll make a motion to the table. Motion been made by Kenneth and second by Mr. White that we table, item number 4. Any discussion? All in favor? I have a number 5, discussion and probably approve funding agreement between Texas Historical Commission and Newton County. Ms. Liz?
We have been awarded from the Texas Historical Commission funds totaling $1,100,000 for some work on the courthouse. The estimated total project cost is going to be $1,294,118. So that's $194,000. That would be the county's part of it. And the judge has, he's been talking to them and they sent us the funding agreement. This is a special funding agreement that funding that they've done. And we thought it was a, real blessing to get this money granted to us so we can get some work done. And we just need the, in the minutes that y'all approve this funding award.
Yeah, that's just part of the procedure in which we have to operate under to qualify for these funds. Liz has to fill out the application, send it in. So it's just acknowledging it's an agreement between Texas Historical Society and Newton County. And it's for the $1.1 million.
And we've got 90 days and Judge and I'll be working on it, 90 days to get a plan together for them, what our plan is to do with the funds. And it was 90 days from August the 18th, but I told him when budget calmed down a little bit, we'll sit down and he knows what he's got to do. We got to put it in a certain order. So we're going to work on that shortly.
Motion.
Make the motion, we accept and approve the funding agreement between Texas Historic Commission and Newton County on the grant for $1.1 million.
I want to get that clear. The county's part would be $194,118. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. The county part would be $194,118.
And this grant is,
And I want that on the record as well.
goes out, is it like I think it's like 4 years we have to use the funds. Yes, I forgot to highlight that.
Has to be completed in about 26.
Yeah, 26.
2026. Okay. We have over a period of this many years to be on it.
Yes.
Okay, motion been made, Mr. White. I hear a second.
Hey Liz, on that, I want to clarify, when does the 194, does that have to be paid in advance?
No. When we submit, like this, when we get started and we get invoices in, we submit them to the historical commission for reimbursement, and they'll reduce it by, let's see, I forgot what that percentage was. 85%? No, 15, our part is 15%, it looks like. So they will, like, so if I submit reimbursement for $1,000, they're gonna reduce that by 85% of what check they cut us. So it'd be 80, if I submit for 1,000, they're gonna give me, I'm at 15%, they're gonna give us 850. So they're gonna reduce the bill by 15%, our match. So it doesn't come out all at one time. So when we ask
Basically,
for the
we're gonna
money,
be getting 85% of every dollar that we pay.
Yeah.
So just make that, I mean,
So the county.
consider that.
Yeah.
no, we're not paying it up. Well, that has not been clarified yet, that if we pay it up front, or we doing it now? We
Right,
have
and that
not
needs to
even-
also be clarified too.
And we've still got, we had to get this in
We
by
have
the
to pay it
certain
up
date,
front and pay
or we
reimbursement.
don't.
Because we may not, I mean, financially, we have to make sure that we have the money to cover that up front before reimbursement, correct, Liz? Am I correct there? Okay.
And we had to get this done quick because, or we lost $1,100,000, a flat $1,100,000 we lost if we didn't get this put in the middle.
Yeah.
We have, like I was saying, we've got 90 days to get the whole plan together and submit it to them for approval. And that's when we find out about either the reimbursement or the advance, or we haven't got that for you.
Okay.
They just said, hey, here's, you can have these funds, but you need to get it on your agenda and get this signed and submitted, or you lose the funds. So that's why we were trying to get this done.
Okay, Mr. Weiss made the motion, here a second.
Second.
Motion been made with Mr. White, that we approve the funding agreement between Texas Historical Commission and Newton County. Second by Mr. Palmby. Any discussion? All in favor? I vote. Number 6, discuss and appropriate approve application submitted for Farrell Hall abatement grant.
Try to work on these hogs around here. Me and Emily from the extension office have worked on this grant. It's and I did not bring it with me. I'm so sorry. I ran out there so fast. It's less than $12,000, but there is no match, zero match. We're going to work, if we're awarded, she is going to head up the program, the education programs, and the hog traps training and tracking the hogs that are caught and all that kind of stuff. She's going to be heading that up for me so that I don't have to learn about hogs too much. So, but I'm going to be helping her. But there, like I said, there is no match, and it's 11,700
400.
or 400. Okay, good. Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was. But there is no match. And we're going to try this and see how it works. It's the first time we've applied for this. And if we're awarded and we have success, it can be a continuing grant. I'll get more funds next year to expand if we need to.
I'll make that motion.
That's it.
Okay.
Motion been made with Mr. Palmby and second Mr. Thompson that we approve the application submitted for a hog abatement grant.
Second by Mr. Benson.
Is any discussion? All in favor? I vote. Number 7, we'll discuss and accept bid on HVAC system for the K Building Museum up at Clarkville. We've got 2 window units up there. That's both of them's out. I got a quote from Johnson Control. There was it 13,000, was that right?
It should be, yeah, and in.
Anyway, I think Johnson Control was somewhere right around 13,000. We went back out to check heating. And they come in at 68, and that's to put the, heat pump in, and this actually be, having to install some duct work and, electrical work and, thermostats and all that. So just ask for y'all to approve.
Did they think a 3-ton would carry? Sounds good, I make the motion.
Second.
Motion been made with Mr. Benson, second Mr. Bomby, that we accept the bid for HVAC unit for the K building to Mr. Brooks. Heating and AC. Any more discussion? All in favor? Number 8, discuss and appropriate approved contract between Braswell LLP, Newton County for tax abatement counselor. We're on to where, person having to be some legal advice on some tax abatement for the project. And so, they have, I reached out to Braswell and, they furnished me a contract for do that counseling work. Y'all so approved.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Palmby and second Mr. Thompson that we approve the contract between Braswell LLP and Newton County for tax abatement counselor. Any discussion? All in favor? 5-0. Here, motion to adjourn.
Motion. Adjourn.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. White and second Mr. Benson to adjourn. It's 29 minutes after 10. Okay, Shannon, I appreciate it.
Sir.